A very warm welcome to all of you. This is Business Today, your weekly business roundup brought to you exclusively on Channel I. A brand new month has just dawned, bringing with it new opportunities and challenges. So with that, we are ready to start a fresh episode of Business Today with Business Personalities segment. Yes, I have a vibrant lady seated right next to me right now. I will not mention her name as you will recognize her the very moment you see her. So let's connect with the introduction first.
Ramani Fernando, whose specialty is providing hair and beauty services and started her business as a very small entrepreneur almost 40 years ago, has today grown into a group of very high-end salons in Sri Lanka, consisting of 14 popular salons. This chain has earned the reputation of being the foremost group of hair and beauty salons in the country. Caring and giving the best to every client, and looking to be the best we could be is her business philosophy. With this in mind, her staff is regularly provided continuous training on new products and skills, and she endeavors to keep abreast with fashion trends in the fashion centers of the world. Ramani has been for many years a vice president of the Asian Hair and Beauty Association based in Hong Kong and headed by Mr. C.K. Zhao, and initially participating successfully as a contestant in the Asian hairstyling and makeup competition, and later for many years has been invited to judge the competition. She also runs training centers in Colombo, Kandy and Negombo, in association with the multinational Unilever, which leads to internationally recognized qualifications. The training centers caters for city and guilds hair and beauty examinations. Since leaving school, Ramani Fernando's initial ambitions were focused on fashion design, interior design and dressmaking, although in the beginning she undertook a basic diploma course in hairdressing and beauty culture. It was late in 1974 when she visited England that the serious shift to hairdressing and beauty did take root. The luxurious hair and beauty salons in London attracted her fancy, and her perseverance in getting trained in one of them paid off, and was ready to embark on cutting hair in Sri Lanka. At that time the techniques she had learned were rather new in Sri Lanka, and soon she was having her appointment book full, with a long list of clients, with the brand Ramani Fernando salons. Being the strongest asset, the company makes sure that all customers identify with it by superior services and customer care. The salons too are furnished in a manner which reflects the brand image of class and style. At same time, each salon maintaining an individualistic look, a steady balance between aesthetics and cost is maintained to ensure a proper return on investment. The group employs over 180 staff, enjoying wages above the average and in line with all legal requirements. The salon staff is provided regular in-house training, and also by the academy, in skills, grooming, customer care, hygiene, and safety. They have experience in working with confidence with high-end customers and tourists. Ramani Fernando Salon's team, over the years, has been partners with a number of reputed beauty contests. The company for an unbroken 10 years has been official hair and makeup partners for the prestigious Colombo Fashion Week since its inception. The company also regularly works with leading Indian choreographers and models on events and photo shoots, with bridal dressing being a very important feature in Sri Lankan society. Ramani Fernando holds a leading position in this sphere of hair and beauty business.
Yes, and she is Mrs. Ramani Fernando, the owner of Ramani Fernando Salons, and she is one of the most successful beauticians Sri Lanka has ever produced. A very warm welcome to you.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Right, so you are a personality who has inspired many individuals to get into this field in Sri Lanka, to get into the beauty culture industry in Sri Lanka. So let me first ask you, what inspired you to get into this field and how did you start your career?
Yes, I think it was a childhood dream. You know, I was very, very interested in fashion and in hair, meddling with hairstyles and all that from my very young age. And actually I was in the boarding also for a few years, and there too I used to, in our free time, I used to always, you know, try out new styles. So I thought one day I'm going to be a designer. So after my O-levels, when I left school, I know this was in the late 1960s, so there was no scope for, you know, anything like that. So I went into a hairdressing course, and then I had a chance of going overseas to London as soon as I got married. And my husband was busy with cricket, so I was aimless. So I thought, I'll go and try to work in a salon.
Okay.
So I walked into this salon, just quite a small salon, and the guy, the owner, tapped me and said, I was very young as well, so he tapped me and said, you've got to learn more and come back. So then I walked up the street, and I saw this notice in a huge salon. It was very visible from the street. It was about 25 stylists on the floor, and very busy, and they had this small notice asking for juniors. Okay. So I thought that was my place as a junior. So I went in and I got the job, and from there on I never looked back. Because working in that salon, I got so much of experience. Of course I was doing like sweeping the floor and washing hair and making cups of tea and coffee, endless jobs, like that. It was very, very tiring. I said, but I learned so much, and it was Gerard London, Martin Gold, and just watching these two people working was just amazing. It was just magical to me. So then when I came back to Sri Lanka, that's the time actually it was also in my little box room in the house that I was trying out all these things I learned. But I must say, after Gerard London, Martin Gold, I had a chance of working in the Raymond's group for a short while. For about 6 months I worked there as a stylist, and there I got all the confidence because I was dealing with the customer. Okay. So when I came back and did a few haircuts, I hardly charged anyone. It was more still like a passion, not like a business, And the word went round, Colombo is a small place, word spreads. Yeah. And then of course I could hardly even cope with the work I got in.
Okay, and it's still continuing and growing.
Yeah, I just completed my 40 years, and I'm still enjoying my work, and I look forward to a day's work. So it's great, I feel I'm blessed to be in this field.
That's lovely. And 40 years ago, from when you started and when you got into this career to now, the beauty care industry has evolved. And how do you see this change from your eyes?
Yeah, at the time I started, there was hardly anyone was having any fashion haircuts or styling hair, and there were just 1 or 2 salons, servicing the people, and of course the men were all done by barbers, and the barber community kind of dominated the scene. So after my return from England, and like blow dries were not even heard of at that time. This was a time that people used to sit under the dryers for hours, and then you spend so much of time in the salon. So when I came and introduced the blow dry method, it just took off, and I didn't have any problems. So from there onwards, by that time there were few others as well going and training abroad, and then I was invited to open up salons in the hotels, like the Taj and the Hilton were new, so I opened up with by that time I was about 5 years into my job, and I was getting more professional and having a nicer salon and that kind of thing, and I was invited to open this salon. So then at that time we had to also, do the tourists that were coming in. So we got the experience of, and we were competent enough to, handle all the tourists. And so like that it grew, then, a lot of young people, I had to employ people, train them from nothing, So I gave them the training that I got in England. So I think I still use that method because I think that is the best way. Now of course there are lots of academies and all that, but still coming into the salon, sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, all that, I think you have a sense of belonging.
Definitely.
Yes. And I appreciate that very much, and I still try to do that with my staff. So it grew like that, Then the men were coming into the salons, they were, not just going to the barber shops, they were coming to the more unisex salons. So everything got, people aware of it, of fashion, in the sense the TV, TV was introduced at that time to Sri Lanka. Then of course people are traveling abroad. So, people are aware. That's the main thing, and there was a demand. And also that's the time that in the 80s, I would say, the beauty industry was taking off, because like the consumer was very concerned about their skin. So this is the time that took off. So the beauty products were also coming in. But of course at the beginning when I started, we were in a closed economy, So we didn't have any products at that time, hardly any products. I remember the time that I used to carry these products from overseas whenever I did a trip. And the clients used to bring their products like the setting lotions, perm lotions, hair color, we have gone through all that.
Today.
It's so changed. And once the economy opened up, everything was so much better, and the market was flooded with these products, and things got better from that.
Right. So if you look at the current context, beauty culture industry is huge in Sri Lanka today. It's not just a client walking into a salon and getting a service and walking back. There's a whole industry behind this, from product manufacturers to suppliers, and it creates a lot of employment opportunities in Sri Lanka. So how big is the beauty culture industry in Sri Lanka today?
Yeah, what I feel is once, the beauty, hair and beauty industry got bigger, there were lots of job opportunities. When you talk of hairdressing or beauty, it's just not what happens in the salon and the services we provide. There is a huge, I would call it a network, it's like photography, designing, training.
All interdependent.
Yes, all, it's one network, and you need those services also for this industry, like training and also manufacturing, importing products, all that is in. So, and also banks were getting interested in the industry. So this activity is just not only in Colombo, it is in the outstations, in the main towns as well. And also what I feel is, the feel good, look good, is driven into you now. So anyone at any economic level is interested in yourself, when they have that kind of extra money, what they would spend is on some beauty, and that is,
because we all want to look good.
Of course, at any age. And it's not only the women, it's the men as well. I would say they are very conscious about how they look. And I know, and another thing is, I won't put that into, it's not vanity, it's just well-being. It's very important. There's a demand for that kind of, to feel, to look good.
Okay, so right now what we see is that salons are springing up like mushrooms. And how do you ensure their quality standards, as certain treatments can have adverse effects on customers and some can be life-threatening? So how do you ensure the quality standards in the industry? Do we have any?
Yeah, actually, we only need a license at the moment to run your premises.
Okay.
But very soon, we are working on that by the Sri Lanka Standards Institute. We are doing this draft, and many personalities have been involved in this, in doing the draft, and it's matching up with the drafts that are done abroad as well. So there is a committee with very sort of high profile people in this, and plus a few beauticians like us, like Ms. Nana Karunaratna, myself, then Asuka Tilakaratna, and few other senior beauticians have got involved. And now this draft is almost finalized. I think it is finalized now, and I think it will be.
It is required right now.
Of course, they are very happy about that, because I think that is what will make this industry even better. You know,
right? That's quite a good news
it will
coming
be
from
implemented
you
very soon.
Yes, but irrespective of new entrants coming into the market, as a customer, we all have a choice to select a service provider that we are comfortable to deal with. So as a customer, what are the aspects that a person should look at when you select a service provider in the beauty care industry?
I think the first is the reputation of high standard service. Then, of course, the pricing, health and safety. I believe a lot in advertising, but I think word of mouth is invaluable. I think that is what really keeps in any business, I think, isn't it? So I think customers are now, they are very knowledgeable in what they want. They're traveling, television, social media. They know so much what's happening. So we have to be geared to, to deliver what they want. And now with social media, if you don't deliver and if you're not satisfied, it can make or break you. So we have to be on our toes. And what I always say is that you can have the most high-tech salon, okay, but if your staff is not up to it, you might as well forget it, because I think the salon is good as a staff. So the staff is so valuable, and nowadays, you see people opening up salons, okay, at different levels. Sometimes, of course, when you don't have the kind of, maybe if you don't have the knack for it or don't have the experience for it, you might open up these salons, and then without really planning your staff, you go into the salon structure, and then they started looking for the staff for, So that sometimes can fall flat if you're not prepared with your staff properly. Then in-house staff training is very, very important. Yes.
As you were mentioning about planning your staff at a salon, what most people do is they get a qualification, a diploma, and then they go to start their own salon. Is this sufficient? What are the requirements you need to fulfill to enter into this industry?
Yes, what I feel is, with experience I'm talking, what I feel is you should have at least about 10 years on the floor working for somebody before you could go on your own. I'm saying this because, if you look around Colombo, and if you see most of the salons, the owners have been working under me, and they have been working for over 10 years, 15 years, and gone away from me with a lot of experience, and they are successful today. So, we have the academies now, which we never had at that time. We have the academies which are offering the City Angli's qualifications, NVQ level qualifications. So all that is there. But what I always tell my students as well is, it's fine. You get your qualification. You know all the fundamentals of the hairdressing and beauty culture, but don't start your own salon. Go and work, intern in a reputed salon, and think of opening up on your own.
Right. So, talking about ensuring quality, how do you ensure quality in your salon chain, as you have 14 salons and you are not present in all 14, but your brand is present everywhere? So, how do you ensure quality standards in your 14 branches?
Okay, it's not easy. I mean, I'll be lying if I say it's easy. It's not. But almost all my salons are managed, except two, are managed by my old staff who have been with, not old staff, I mean, people have been senior, sorry, that's the word, by senior staff who's been with me for quite a few years, and I know they are competent enough to go and manage their own salons. That's that way I am confident that they are been with me, they know how we do things, and they are carrying on. So, and also I'm on the floor still, I work still, and I make it a point to visit them at least once a week, you know, and you know, that's the only way I keep talking to them every day, advising them, because you know, customers are very demanding now, you know, and they have the right to do that. You know, they're paying the money, they're king. I mean, I always say customer is king, you know. So that's the only way that I could like manage it, by, you know, communicating with them all the time. And of course I have the cameras as well, and also the training, you know, we have our meetings very often, the manager level meetings, and so somehow we do it that way.
Right. So since we spoke about knowledge, experience and qualification, what is your view on the level of training available in Sri Lanka? Because for us to produce good beauticians, we have to have proper, solid education system in Sri Lanka on this sector. Are you happy with the level of training and training centers available in Sri Lanka, or should we seek for foreign assistance?
Well, it's like this. There are many training centers now in Sri Lanka. Some are very good, some I think are not that good, not up to standard. So I don't think I can talk about, you know, everyone else, but what about our academy, that's the Ramani Fernando Sunsilk Hair and Beauty Academy. We are supported by Unilever Sunsilk, and I have a team of teachers who are my senior stylists, who go in for all the practical work. And it's headed by Lucky Lena Gala. She's an international award-winning lecturer from City Angles, and also she has international you know, exposure and the qualifications to. She's not only in Sri Lanka, she's sorted out in the region as well, where she goes and trains and, you know, gives all these qualifications. So I'm really lucky to have Lucky Lena Gala to head the training institute. And of course, and also just to talk about the academy, we offer, along with Unilever, we offer around 25 scholarships for the year, you know, in hairdressing for young people who are, you know, he cannot afford sort of fees, and they all come from the outstations, and they get trained, and also there are job opportunities, you know. Most of them work with me for some time before they go off, you know, to their towns or the villages or whatever, you know. So it's ongoing training, and as I said, you know, we have some other very good training centers as well.
Right. Okay. So right now, if you look at the market, there's a rapidly increasing trend for skin whitening treatments. So many products coming into the market, so many treatments in high demand, but you came up with a different concept called Bronzed and Beautiful. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, this
concept?
was actually, it was a very interesting program. It was launched by Sothis. You know, Sothis is a product that we use in the salons for all the beauty care. So it was launched by them. It was, the launch was to take care of your skin, to have a healthy skin. Because there is a myth that, you know, the
white skin is preferred over other shades.
Yes, and to be beautiful or to be noticed by you know, society, or to be successful, you had to be white, you know. So to, you know, to control that, this was this campaign came about, and you know, people go into extents of, you know, harsh kind of cosmetics and other, you know, other sort of you know, things to make yourself white, and it could be so dangerous to you as well. So there were some ladies chosen who are like bronzed in complexion, and they proved it that you don't have to be fair to be stunning, you know. So because if you actually look, even though because it's a very old-fashioned thing to look fair like that, you know. Because if you look at the fashion industry, I mean, how many dark girls, how many colored girls are in in the front, you know, and all these beauty queens. Because you don't have to be fair, you have to be happy in your own skin, whether you are black, brown, yellow or white. Just, you know, look after your skin. Healthy skin is the vital.
Okay, so can we also talk about the growth in this industry, as we see many new entrants coming into the industry and the supply increasing, but is the demand too increasing in the same pace?
Yes, the growth at the higher level is not growing, because I feel the sort of the upper middle class to the high end is also not rapidly growing. So the demand for salons in that level, in the high level, is, you know, not that much, and we have a very few salons that could service that area. So I don't see a competition in that area, but I see a huge competition in the middle area, because there are so many salons springing up, and, you know, some of them can't even sustain it, they have to close it up. So that's where the competition is, in the middle area.
Right. So there are many entrants coming into the market, and there's a sizable amount of revenue generated in the industry. If you look at the segmentation, are we tapping the tourists, as the tourism is growing in Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is a very popular destination for weddings? Are we generating revenue only through local market, or are we tapping the foreign segment as well?
Yeah, definitely. In the sense now, as I spoke to you earlier about the salons in the hotels, you know, all the salons, most branches are in the hotels, and there we have to service the foreigners, okay? And as you said, the destination weddings here, they hire us to dress the brides. So there is, you know, and also recently we did this Miss Intercontinental, where there were 75 countries who took part in it. So we had 75 different national, you know, taking part in this competition. So we got involved in that, and that was a great experience of handling 75 beauty queens, you know. So yes, of course we are tapping the foreign market, because there is now what I notice is, like, now in the salons, in the hotels, there are a lot of Indians who come in there, and they are very, very happy with our service, and, you know, they sort of compare our service to what is available in India, and I think we are much more competent, and you know, the quality is much better where the hair industry is concerned. And also there's a huge demand for our hairdressers and beauticians from India, the Middle East, and till very recently from Australia as well.
Okay.
And the latest is the cruise liners. You know, they are interested in, you know, I have lost quite a few of my senior stylists to cruise liners, and I was fortunate enough to have 2 of them coming back after having a year experience.
Right. My final question to you is, I'm expecting a very brief answer from you. As a pioneer in this industry, what advice would you want to pass on to the entry-level beauticians in Sri Lanka?
Okay, as I said, I'm now 40 years in this business. I'm still enjoying it. Just don't think of, you know, only making money. Money will come if you do an honest job. And I just want to say, it's a beautiful industry. I mean, beautiful job, and I enjoy it. Till now, I'm enjoying every day of it. So that's what I always tell my students: enjoy it. You know, it's a beautiful job to be in.
Right, and thank you very much, Mrs. Ramani Fernando, for joining us. It was lovely having you with us today.
Thank you so much.
Okay.